Fighting lockdowns for property. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to have a look at a a marketing campaign against Daniel Andrews by the Real Estate Institute of Victoria, everyone. So let's have a look at this advertisement here, a full-page spread. Locked down and locked out. Mr. Premier, give us our keys back. So, Victorians are being denied the basic right to rent, buy and sell a home. Well, yeah, property, it's a fundamental part of our culture, everyone. Things are bad enough. The financial and emotional stress of losing deposits, defaulting on contracts, and not being able to secure appropriate living arrangements is leaving families in distress and endangering lives. Locking Victorians out of the real estate market means taking away the right to rent, buy or sell our biggest and most important asset. Premier, please give us our keys back. Private inspections can be done safely. So they're calling for private inspections. Now that doesn't seem that outrageous. Surely it can be managed. Surely this is the thing. COVID ain't going to go anywhere, guys. It's going to go from pandemic to endemic. We need to learn to live with it and learn to manage it. Surely that real estate, of all things, you think real estate will be held up on a pedestal here in Australia? It's the basis for most of our bloody economy, okay? Seriously. So let's have a look at the media release from the REIV. So, lockdown and locked out, sector campaigns to open real estate safely. The Real Estate Institute of Victoria, on behalf of the tens of thousands of sector employees and impacted Victorians, has this week mounted a campaign against onerous and unnecessary property market restrictions. On Wednesday, the 8th of September, full-page advertisements in major metropolitan newspapers will display the sector's concern that one-on-one property inspections cannot be undertaken under current Victorian government COVID-19 regulations. Locked down and locked out. Mr. Premier, please give us our keys back. The advertisement reads, picturing an image of Premier Andrews. Victorians are being denied their basic rights. Yep, we've read that. The advertisement will also be distributed via social media channels and emailed directly to REIV members, who will share the message widely through their networks of property owners, buyers and renters who have been severely impacted by their inability to transact. It's expected many will take up the campaign's call to action, which is to write to the Premier directly to help him understand the challenging situations and concerns with the government's approach. I'm sure he's getting a lot of complaints, and not just from people involved in the property, I think with everyone. Authorised by REIV Chief Executive Officer Gil King, the campaign follows a failure of the Victorian government to understand that the property sector can operate safely during a pandemic. Ever since the beginning of COVID-19, the REIV on behalf of the sector has outlined that private property inspections, residential and commercial, can occur safely, Mr. King said. We have made dozens upon dozens of representations to the Victorian government but are repeatedly ignored. I've heard of this before. I remember here in Queensland, the government had an advisory panel where all different people from industry and in the construction sector came and could, advise, and it was just always ignored. It was just always ignored. They just do it so they can say they have public participation, or they've listened. They've listened to the industry and made up their mind anyway. We're determined to ensure, or here in Queensland they did what the unions did anyway. We're determined to ensure the message gets through, and if taking a more public stance means the voices of Victorians are heard, then we are prepared to invest resources into that approach. The sector's concern with the Victorian government extends beyond private inspections. Recently released commercial tenancy relief scheme was considered a one-sided program that would put a number of small and medium-sized property owners in financial distress. Last year's residential eviction moratorium was put in place by the government without any discussions with the sector or consideration for property owners. REIV President Lee Cullinan said, while Victorians buy, sell, or rent a property, they're making some of the most significant financial decisions of their lives, and they're putting a lot in the government's coffers as well. You think you'd get a little bit more respect considering all the stamp duty you have to pay. In-person inspection is a fundamental aspect of property transaction due diligence. Without it, buyers and renters are flying blind, and sellers and rental providers aren't able to position their assets at its best. Lockdown regulations that ban property inspections by private appointment are creating an unnecessary burden on the property market, impacting aspiring homeowners and mum and dad investors. Most critically, though, they've stopped many people from being able to access rental properties so they can put a roof over their heads. Banning inspections effectively shuts down the property sector, which rubs salt into the wounds of an industry that's been excluded from government financial support despite its significant economic contribution through the employment of thousands of people and the payment of billions of dollars in taxes. 100%. 100%. Maybe we should get rid of this whole system of democracy, and it just needs to be tied to how much taxes you pay. What about that? It magnifies. Every vote you get gets magnified by the amount of tax you pay every year. Wouldn't that be interesting? I wonder what would happen then, everyone. You pay $40,000 a year in tax, boom, your vote gets times 40,000. You pay negative 11,000 in tax, boom, your vote gets times negative 11,000. So if all the people who are not paying any tax, if they all happen to vote for Labour and the Greens, that's hundreds of thousands of votes that they can take it off them. What do you think about that idea? Maybe. Mr. King added, our members regularly convey the severe hardship many of their clients are facing. Suffocating a sector with unnecessary rules is already impacting the health, safety, and mental well-being of the community, and we shudder at the thought of potential long-term consequences. The REIV is ready and willing to work with the Victorian Government in finding the solutions that enable business to resume while ensuring the safety of all Victorians. In a further effort to get back to business quickly, real estate sector leaders last week banded together on vaccination, issuing a video with a rallying cry for people in property to get vaccinated. There you go. So what's the solution and the takeaway to all of this? Well, it's encouraging to see the Real Estate Institute of Victoria taking a public stance to push for their sector. And really, we need to open up real estate inspections. Guys, I mean, come on. We need to find ways to adapt so we can learn to move forward. If we're ever going to return to normal life again, we need to realize that we need to, take steps to allow business to operate. What a novel bloody concept that is, business is operating. Who would have thought? What do you think, everyone? Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us by signing up for SelfWealth or Stake, using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.